Right. Shalom, Yahbashim Yashai Brakathum to all the brothers, Yahweh Shamar Latham Bashim Yashai to all the sisters. Right. This is the scripture Thursday night breakdown class. Thursday night scripture breakdown class for ISUPK, Northern California, ISUPK, Bay Area, Sacramento. Right now, let's go ahead and just clap it up. Let's see. Most High Christ, man. We got young man in the building holding it down, coming through, repping for San Jose, really repping for Israel 144. That brother doing 144, 12 by 12, everything. You know what I'm saying? Most High Christ, brother got the Spirit of the Lord on him. You know, it's good to see you in the building now. Let's go ahead and get into some questions. What we got? You said Jeremiah?
Jeremiah 16 and 19.
Jeremiah 16 and 19. Shalom, Yahbashim Yashai Barakatah, Trooper Matham Yah, checking in from San Jose. Looking forward to seeing you in the building next week, Ak. You know what I mean? You know, get in here. All right. Let's see. Let's go to what you have, Jeremiah 16 and 19. All right, let's go up a few. Let's start. Let's start at 16 and 1.
16 and 1.
Yeah, we're not gonna go all the way down. We're gonna jump around a little bit. Mm-hmm.
Jeremiah 16 and 1. The word of Yahweh came also unto me, saying, Thou shalt not take thee a wife, neither shalt thou have sons or daughters in this place.
Mm-hmm.
For thus saith Yahweh concerning the sons and concerning the daughters that are born in this place,
mm-hmm.
and concerning their mothers that bear them, and concerning their fathers that begat them in this land. They shall die of grievous deaths. They shall not be lamented, neither shall they be buried, but they shall be as dung upon the face of the earth.
Right, they shall not be lamented. Like nobody's gonna mourn for these brothers and sisters that's losing their lives. They're gonna be like dung for the earth. They're not gonna be buried into the ground, right? And we even heard about that. The heathens were doing that in the Assyrian Empire when we were brought into that captivity with the northern kingdom brought over to the captivity. It was who was the brother? Salakia. What's the brother's name? Good night. I gotta wake up. The brother basically this is my guy too, Tobit. Salakia. Tobit was from the tribe of Naphtali, and when he went into captivity into Assyria, he was known for coming and burying the dead, because the Assyrians were known for leaving the dead bodies of the people that was going against the empire, leaving them all through the streets, or just treating us like we was just trash. So it was dead bodies all over. Even if y'all brothers seen the movie Boys in the Hood, I know you seen that coming up. He said the video started with, you want to see a dead body? You know, it's just a black man laying in the streets, like on the way to school. You know what I'm saying? That's how it was in these times. Like, you throw a can out the cars and throw a nigga on the side of the road, just sitting there, you know, dying or being dead. And the brother Tobit, he was going around wanting to show honor to him by burying him in the ground. Well, he's saying at this time that's not going to happen to these brothers and sisters, right? Keep going.
And they shall be consumed by the sword and by famine, and their carcasses shall be meat for the fowls of heaven,
right,
and for the beasts of the earth.
Right.
For thus saith Yahweh, enter not into the house of the
Lord. Let's go. Let's drop down a little bit. Go to verse 11.
Jeremiah 16, verse 11. Then shalt thou say unto them, because your fathers have forsaken me, saith Yahweh, and have walked after other gods, and have served them, and have worshipped them, and have forsaken me, and have not kept my law. and ye have done worse than your fathers. For, behold, ye walk every one after the imagination of his evil heart, that they may not hearken unto me. Therefore will I cast you out of this land into a land that ye know not, neither ye nor your fathers. And there shall ye serve other gods day and night, where I will not show you favor. Therefore, behold, the days come, saith Yahweh, that it shall no more be said, Yahweh liveth, that brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt.
Right. So that's what we were known for. We were known for being brought out of the land of Egypt. All the nations heard about the story of the children of Israel being delivered out of the Egyptian captivity, because the Egyptians had such a lock and control on the earth at the time. It's the same way today it is in America. Like, no one thinks they can defeat the American army. That's how everyone felt about the Egyptians back then. So for us to get delivered from them and to become free and get our own nation, it was a miracle that the other nations had to, like, that's what we were famous for, right? But right now, we're not going to be known for that anymore. But this is going to happen. Verse 15.
Jeremiah 16:15. But Yahweh liveth, that brought up the children of Israel from the land of the north, and from all the lands whither he had driven them. I will bring them again into their land that I gave unto their fathers.
And I will do what?
And I will bring them again into their land that I gave unto their fathers.
Right. So this is talking about us. Like you said, that's the return, us going back to our land, going back to our culture, being in rulership into the kingdom, right? Keep going.
Behold, I will send for many fishers, said Yahweh,
and
they shall fish them.
Right.
And after will I send for many hunters,
right,
and they shall hunt them from every mountain, from every hill, and out of the holes of the rocks.
Right. So at one point in time, we're going to be fishing brothers into the truth, bringing them in, letting them know who they are, getting our culture back. And then the Lord's going to send out for many hunters, and the hunters are going to go out. The angels are going to go out and hunt and destroy these people that have put us in these captivities. Right? Keep going.
For mine eyes are upon all their ways. They are not hid from my face. Neither is there iniquity hid from mine eyes.
Right.
And first, I will recompense their iniquity and their sin double, because they have defiled my land. They have filled mine inheritance with the carcasses of their detestable and abominable things.
Right. Yeah. These are the punishments, the curses that come to the children of Israel for the things that we have done. We're going to be paid back for the crimes that we committed against the Lord. And then what's going to happen?
O Yahweh, my strength and my fortress and my refuge in the days of affliction, the Gentiles shall come unto thee from the ends of the earth and shall say, surely our fathers have inherited lies, vanity, and things wherein there is no profit. Right.
So now we got back into our land from the land of the north. We in our land. The Gentiles is going to come up to us and be in submission like this is a wise nation. These are the brothers that we should, be bowing down to. And so they're going to say, okay, we've inherited lies. We didn't know the truth of God, because how is these niggas the ones that's in charge and running this thing? You understand? Keep going.
Jeremiah 16:20. Shall a man make gods unto himself, and they are no gods? Therefore, behold, I will this once cause them to know. I will cause them to know mine hand and my might, and they shall know that my name is Yahweh. Right.
You see what I mean? That's how you know it's easy. It's like, therefore, this once, like this one time, now all the nations are going to see that they no longer the children of Israel that got taken out of Egypt. These are children of Israel that got taken out of America. Egypt didn't have no nuclear bombs. Egypt didn't have no stealth bomber. Egypt didn't have all the modern technology and infrared and all that. Like, we never supposed to get out of this captivity. America ain't never trying to let niggas go. Like, I'm thinking about something I was watching the other day about these other nations, man. And what was it? Man, it was something. It just reminded me like how, okay, these other nations, they go to war, right? But they really, who is it? Damn, what I'm trying to say is like, certain nations, they get scared to a point they don't want to do nothing against America. And certain nations, they don't give a damn and they want to keep fighting, right? Like China. Russia, they not backing down. They're going to figure a way to fight back. And they went and got nuclear bombs. They went and organized themselves to get in a way that they can at least go toe-to-toe with America in some way. But for us here in America, like all of the people that try to stand up for niggas to get free, they destroy them so quickly and stomp it out. It's like crazy when you watch the Black Panthers come up. Like, it's crazy for you to think that they could go all the way and defeat America. You know what I mean? Like, they tried to go and made it for like 5-6 years. China tried to go and they got 1 million people in their army. Like, you think I'm making it? Let me look up. You know, I like looking stuff up, man. So like, I'm trying to have some decorum. How many people are in the Chinese military? They got my bad. They got 2 million people in the Chinese army. They rank first in military men, and they're called the People's Liberation Army because they're fighting for their people to liberate their army who is oppressing them. The white man is oppressing them. The European nation is oppressing them. Have you heard about the Opium War? You ever heard of that? That's a good history. You can look up some documentaries on YouTube. I know me and Natazar was talking about that at one point in time. You go into the history, long story short, the Chinese were doing trade with the British Empire, you know, the Queen of England, all of them, right? This is like, I think, let me look it up just to be sure to give you the right year. I think this is in the 1800s, though, right? Yeah, it's definitely in the 1800s. I'm like, Opium War, definitely, I'll make sure, though. Opium War, 1839 to 1842. So we were still enslaved over here, and then they had another war in 1856 to 1860. So from 1840 to 1860, 20 years damn near in between this time, the British Empire was going to war with the Chinese. So before that, the Chinese and the British are doing trade. And trade works when it goes both ways. When I get something and you get something, then we both equally benefit. That's an equal trade. But if I'm trading and I'm just buying from you and you're not buying from me, that's not trading. That is colonization in some way. Like when you just take resources from somebody and all they're doing, the perfect example, how we do with Chinese people today. Black people and Hispanic people, do we trade with Chinese people in our community? All we do is spend at their business. You never see a Chinese person come to our barbershop. You never see a Chinese person come to your soul food restaurant. But you go to their Chinese restaurant, but they don't come to your soul food restaurant. You go to whatever, they hair beauty supply, they don't come over to your nails, whatever we do, they don't support us, right? That's been China's mentality forever. So they always find a way. What's this made? Made in China. Made in China. Made in China. They sell, but they don't want to buy from you. They want to buy from their own people. So that's how they build up their economy. So long story short, back then, they created a city to do trades with the white people. And in this city, they couldn't go into the mainland. So they go to the border of the water. You pull up to the port in Oakland. The Chinese people waiting. They're like, yeah, we got a city right here. If you want to buy something from China, you can't go into the Bay Area. You got to buy right here at the Golden Gate Bridge. You can't even come in the Bay. And we're not trading with you in gold. We're trading with you in silver. So now you give me gold, but I give you change in silver or whatever. Like they're only taking in, they're not buying them from them. So the British come up like, yeah, we just bought some spices from you. You want to buy some guns from us? They're like, no, we don't want no guns. We got our own gun. We'll make our own guns. They're like, hey, we just came to buy some silk from you. You want to buy this cheese we got from them? We don't want that. So the British Empire is just losing. They're giving all their money to China because they need the things China has. Just like today, they need the clothes. They need the technology. They're giving all their money to China. It's really nothing new under the sun. We really living in this again. Long story short, in order for them to make money, the British Empire saw that certain Chinese people like smoking opium, right? It's like heroin. So they were like really drug addicts because you know how addictive heroin is, right? They started creating opium dens, which was be a crack house. So now it's illegal for you to smoke opium in China. It was only like 5-10 people in the neighborhood do it. They open up a crack house and they start paying the people to grow the opium and they start selling it to the Chinese people and flooding the streets with opium the same way they did crack to us. So once again, it's nothing new under the sun. You think it's a coincidence everybody started smoking crack at the same time? They said it was studies that showed when they talked about crack so much in the 80s, good or bad, it made more people want to try it. So you see it on the news talking about crack is whack. That really was a commercial for somebody else. It was like, shit, I did lose my job this week. Everybody doing it. It's going all over the country, man. What is that about? It actually made more people want to smoke it. So they increased the amount of people on opium, got all the Chinese people hooked on opium, and now they're making money again because they selling dope to them. And so that's how the British Empire started getting the money back and started coming up. Well, the Chinese was like, man, y'all can't sell dope to our people. You destroying our communities. They went to war over that. So that's where the first opium war. You look up documentaries on it and break it down. The British Empire had all the weaponry, all the cannons and the guns and all that. They won against the Chinese people. And it happened twice. They beat them again. And they said, nigga, or Moab, we selling dope in your country whether you want us to or not. Or we're going to kill all y'all. And then they took Hong Kong from them. So the city of Hong Kong is one of the biggest cities in China to this day. That's like their New York City. So Hong Kong population right now, how many people live in Hong Kong? 7.3 million people live in Hong Kong. It's a big major city. The British Empire said, this is our land, this is our country inside of China, and they didn't give it back to them until 1999. So since 1860s, over 100 years in our lifetime, the British Empire said, now you can have Hong Kong back. They took all the money that came through Hong Kong, all the businesses, all that taxes was going back to the British Empire because you didn't let me sell your cousin dope in your own country. You want to talk about gangsters? Like the white man is the devil the Bible speaks of. We say it, and these other nations know it. And I met an Edomite the other day, and we're going to get back to these precepts. And he had something tatted on his arm. And he was going back and he was talking about, you know, the history and all that. He's like, you know what this means? He's like, this means Wei Lu in Chinese. It means white devil. And he a white man, and he got it on his arm. He's like, I am the white devil that they talk about. But he was weird, man. He was talking about pro-Black Panthers and all this and helping them out. But he knows his people is evil as hell to the rest of the world. So it's no coincidence that Chinese people got a word for it because they know the things that he done. What is their whole purpose? I know I'm going on a long type thing, But what I'm saying is when they messed with the Chinese people, they came up with the Chinese Liberation Army. And they're trying to get free from being oppressed from white people. And they built a 2 million man army. Black people in America, we tried to get free from them, and we ended up in San Quentin. We ended up becoming Crips and Bloods, and we ended up smoking the crack, selling the crack to our people. They went to war to stop selling the drugs to their people. We went to war to sell drugs to our people. You see what I'm saying? Like, we didn't make it past that stage of getting a million army and none of that. We had a 1 million man march. They got 2 million people in the army and they got nuclear bombs. They are really trying to fight this oppressor. If they were to win, it wouldn't be a miracle, is the whole point I'm saying. If we were to get free from these devils, that is a miracle that the world will talk about, because no one could think that we could defeat these people. It's nigh unto impossible. It literally is impossible if it wasn't for the Lord. That's the only thing. So read that again, read the context of that one more time. Read verse 15 one more time. Like
Jeremiah 16 to 15.
Mm-hmm.
But
matter of fact, go up to verse 14.
Jeremiah 16 14. Therefore, behold, the days come, said Yahweh. It shall no more be said, Yahweh liveth.
Right.
Brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt.
We ain't gonna be known for that no more. They ain't even gonna talk about Egypt. Keep going.
But Yahweh liveth, that brought up the children of Israel from the land of the north.
Right.
And from all the lands whither he had driven them. And I will bring them again into their land I gave unto their fathers.
Right. So this is us taking our birthright back. We back in our land. When you drop down, the Gentiles gonna come up to us, you understand? And they're going to say, like, hey, man, y'all are really them people. You see what I'm saying? And we go back down to verse 21. That's where we had left off at.
Jeremiah 16, 21. Therefore, behold, I will this once cause them to know. I will cause them to know my hand and my might, and they shall know that my name is Yahweh.
Yeah, he's going to destroy them. And the heathens, the Gentiles, the Chinese that had nuclear bombs, and the Japanese that had all this, and the East Indians and the Africans, all of them going to be like, yeah, we tried. We couldn't defeat him. They've been trying for a minute. That's how you know a lot of our people become delusional, because China has nuclear bombs and they still scared of America. You see what I'm saying? Like, what do we got? What do you think you're gonna do? You can get you an AR-15. You think you're doing something? Look at how long they went to war with Afghanistan and Iraq and all of that, man. They're just trying to survive. They like, okay, we happy they left. That means they won. They just left. If America really wanted to go destroy all of Afghanistan, they could kill every last one of them. They really wanted to go and kill every Iraqi, they could do that. They are not really winning these wars, man, to that extent that America is leaving. It's just like they got what they wanted, and now they out moving on to the next war. But for us to think in our mind, a lot of times we're doing something against them, talking about these black revolutionaries and all these cats. Without the Lord, man, it is for nothing, man. Y'all might as well throw in the towel. You know what I mean? The Lord is going to deliver us out of this captivity. All right. So the brother look like he got a question on here. I gotta go ahead and answer Matamya. Fly, can I get an understanding of 1 Corinthians 11 and 9? Does this mean the woman was made to be in full submission? Let's get it. 1 Corinthians 11 and 9.
First Corinthians 11 and 9. Neither was the man created for the woman,
right,
but the woman for the man.
Mm-hmm. So let's go up. Yeah, let's go to verse 7.
1 Corinthians
Mhm.
11:7. For a man indeed ought not to cover his head, for as much as he is the image and glory of the Most High. But the woman is the glory of the man.
Right. So the Lord made us. We represent the Lord. We're the glory of the Most High. Like, look at what I created. Look what I made. These men are so great, right? The woman is like, you have a woman and you raising her up. She represents you. Then that's the glory of the man. Like, you got an honorable woman. That speaks of who you are, right? So the woman is the glory of the man, right? Verse 8.
Verse 8. For the man is not of the woman, but the woman of the man.
Right. Like, you see what it is when society is ruled by women. Great men don't come from women running a society. Great men come from great men running a society. Like, you can raise up your daughter to be a woman more than a woman can raise up a son to be a man. You know what I mean? Like, there are certain things a woman just cannot teach a man about being brave, courageous, you know, selfless to that extent. Everybody can have certain, but to go to war and to be ready to die, that's something a woman, she can't teach that courage to a man. And so the man is not of the woman, but the woman of the man. Verse 9.
In other words, the man created for the woman, but the woman for the man.
Right. What does that mean? The woman is here to be a helpmeet. You know, in Esau's world, you see how they flip everything else. Happy wife, happy life. They've made you here to serve her, to be here to cater to her world. That's how Esau, that's how you know he's a devil. Everything the Bible says, he reverses it. Like, you bow down on your knee to ask her to marry you. In the Bible, it says 7 women shall chase one man and say, take away my reproach. Like, the whole world is flipped upside down. And the way Esau does this thing is to pervert the true culture that the Bible has created for his people. And so all of these things, like, if you let Esau tell it, the man was created for the woman. Like, we're created here to serve her and do whatever and follow behind her. Whatever she tell you to do, you do it. No, that's not how it's supposed to be. Keep going.
1 Corinthians 11:10.
Mm-hmm.
For this cause ought the woman to have power on her head because of the angel.
Right. So this whole precept, before we go up further into it, is talking about a woman having her head covered. Why should a woman have her head covered when she's praying or when somebody's prophesying, versus why men shouldn't have their head covered? The woman should have her head covered so that she has power over her head. She's under the authority of a man, whether it's her husband or whether it's the priest and prophets. When you see that sister got her head covered, that means a man told her to do that, right? And so she is listening to someone and she has to answer to someone. She has an authority over her. Even it talks about a vow. Certain women in the Bible couldn't make a vow without her father or her husband, because he has to answer for her keeping that vow. She can't answer it. She's under his authority. If she doesn't do it, he's got to make sure she honors that vow. It's just not up to her. It's under and you're responsible for her. So she breaks that vow, you pay for her breaking that vow. That's you being a leader, right? So verse 11.
Verse 11. Nevertheless, neither is the man without the woman, neither the woman without the man in the Lord.
Right. So this is the thing that the what do you call it, like the conscious community, whatever, that they try to say, well, if the man is priority, then the woman doesn't matter, and then the black woman is God and all that nonsense they start going into. Like, nah, man, we need women. We couldn't be here. You had a mother. You couldn't be here without a mother. You can't make no children without a woman. A woman can't make no children without a man. We need each other. Just because someone's the leader doesn't mean you don't need both of us to even exist, right? Keep going.
Whereas the woman is of the man,
Mm-hmm.
even so is the man also by the woman. But all things of the Most High.
Right, right. And so, what was the precept? He said it was 9 was the question. So yeah, neither was the man created for the woman, but the woman for the man. So he's saying the initial question was, does this mean the woman was made to be in full submission? Khan. She was made to be in subjection to her own husband, right? Even if you go back to Genesis, we'll pull that precept real quick, and then we'll go on from there. Genesis was like the 3rd chapter, I believe. Genesis 3. Verse 16.
Genesis 3 and verse 16. Unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception.
Mm-hmm.
In sorrow thou shalt bring forth children,
Mm-hmm.
and thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee.
Right, and your husband shall rule over you. That is, you are to be in subjection to your husband. This is what happened back then when, Eve was disobedient to her husband, disobedient to the Lord, and you see where the world has gone. So I like these things, like if you make it make sense, like they can take the Bible and say, oh, this is just a book that's just trying to oppress women, and it's misogynistic is probably a word. The patriarchy, they be trying to throw all these new words nowadays and make it seem like this book is evil because it's trying to put men in charge of women, right? But the real evil, and that's why Esau is the father of lies, because he can tell you something that sounds good, but it's really bad for you. And so he does that so much. When we tell you that something that sounds bad, it's really good for you. So we tell women that they need to be in subjection to their own husbands. That sounds oppressive to them. God damn, that's heavy. Think about that. When you tell women they have to listen to their husband, they hear you are oppressing them when they say, wives, submit to your husband. I ain't submitting to no man. Now I'm going to ask you, how dumb does that sound? I'm not going to go into it too much for time's sake. Esau, the Willie Lynch papers, that's another one. If you go check that one out, it talks about the first key to making a slave is breaking the woman. So if she listens to her husband, he's oppressing her, right? But what's really happening when she doesn't listen to her husband? Right? But why does Esau want her to disobey him? To do what? What does he get out of it? What does he get out of it? What does Esau get out of us being destroyed? Okay, what does he get out of having slaves?
Us being lost.
One more time. You getting? He said us being lost. What does he get from us being slaves? It's very simple. Don't overthink it. You might be going too spiritual, too deep. Just simple. We're slaves, which means we're doing what for him? Yeah, but what are we doing for him when we're submitting? What does a slave do?
We obey.
You going and you saying the same thing. Literally, what does a slave do? Go back to a plantation. What does a slave do? Okay, there you go. Now you on to it. What does working do for them? What does us working for them do?
Overall capitalism.
There you go. They making money. They are oppressing us. So a black woman hears, if I submit to my husband, I'm oppressed. Because you told me to get some water and I went and did it. Her friends are going to say, girl, you dumb for listening to him. You stupid because you do whatever your husband tells you to do. Her mama's going to say it. Her sister's going to say it. Her cousin's going to say it. Her co-worker's going to say, you serving that man? You doing what he tell you to do? And then where do they go? To work. And they are oppressed. And a white man tells them what to do and go get me a water and go get me this and iron my clothes and pick up my kids and clean my this and wash my dishes. And he makes money off of your dumbass and enriches his family and really oppresses you. Real oppression. But he's convinced her through his lies that obeying you is wrong and obeying him is good. But they don't put two and two together. You see what I'm saying? So that's what Satan was doing. He was tricking Eve. She was being naive and listening to him. And so now she don't got to listen to her husband. She thinks she's free when she really becomes a slave. This is what has happened to our women to this day. They think getting away and being a single mother is freedom, but they got to work 2 jobs now. They become more of a slave. So that's how the devil works with this stuff, man. So it sounds like I said, Esau will make something that sounds bad sound good. I'm independent. I'm single. I don't got to do nothing what no man tell me to do. In reality, you don't never do nothing you want to do because you working 2 jobs. You do whatever that man tells you to do. And then this Bible says, woman, shut your mouth and listen to your husband. That sounds bad. But really, we would have the kingdom and you would never have to go to work if you did this. So, yeah, man, Esau is known so many different ways to say it, but it always comes back to him being the devil, man. He's the deceiver. He's the liar. He's good at it. He will make you feel happy to be a slave. That's the type of pimping that they're doing. Is a happy hoe. That's what not Donald Goines, but Iceberg Slim. He said in the beginning of the book, he said the hoes was laughing in the car riding with him. He said that's how you know it's good because they still sleep. You know what I'm saying? A happy hoe is a good hoe. If she laughing, she ain't even thinking. That's why they have us in comedy and joking. You ever see niggas that go to jail? They always joking all the time. It's just nonstop joking. You know what I'm saying? People that are oppressed, they just have to play because you escaping from your reality. You know what I mean? Lock you. Yeah, but that's what they want. They want us to keep us happy at being slaves. So what does he got? He said, we'll go to a little bit. And if I may, do you think when America falls off, do you think that would be written in the scriptures and celebrate like a Passover Shalaki? I can't remember which one he was talking about. Oh, he's saying, okay, yeah. He's like going back to Jeremiah. Do you think that we will celebrate our getting free out of here like Passover? No, I haven't seen any precepts saying that. I think we'll still keep the Passover, but that was what the Passover was talking about too. So it's kind of 2 things can be both. It's about us getting out of Egypt, but also us getting out of America. This Passover is still going to be the same initial start, but it's still going to represent what we're doing now, right? So Asians were notorious for smoking crank in the 90s. I remember that. Nothing, yeah, crazy. Oh, man. Okay. So that's that. We're gonna go into tonight's topic. We're already getting over. We're coming to 9 o'clock. Like I said, we won't go too long. No, we started class a little bit late. We've been here for 40 minutes as far as going live. But let's go to. I'm going to some one body precepts. Let me get Philmon. That's a hard one to find. Sometimes you got to go to your front dictionary. You can't find Philmon, but it's in the back. It's a small. Philemon chapter 2 and verse 2. Or Philemon, I don't know. Always. That might not be the right one I want. Why is it saying it like that? Hold on. 2 and 2. That ain't no 2. Which is it? 1 and 2. No. That's not what I want then. Let's drop that. That's let's just drop down. Let's go to 1 John 2 and 19.
First John 2:19.
Right.
They went out from us,
Uh-huh.
but they were not of us.
Right.
For if they had been of us, they would no doubt have continued with us.
Right. They went out from us, but they were not of us. If they had been of us, they would no doubt have continued with us. Like, it's a very simple concept. I don't know how fake Israelites read precepts like this. It seems very simple to a loyal man. To a disloyal man, it doesn't make any sense to. Like, if you put it in any other terms, for them, it just boggles my mind. But I remember at one point in time, I was talking to my cousin in the world, right? And I was talking to him about, man, I found out some people in my family was, LGBT. I'm like, cuz, I don't get it. He said, cuz, we ain't supposed to get it. We ain't supposed to understand that. You understand? I'm like, damn, that's deep. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, for me, loyalty, this makes sense. I can't understand how they read this and make sense of it by believing each other all the time and then still acting like they're in the truth. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't even make sense to me, but it can't make sense to me because that ain't for us type of men to understand it. Like, read that part again.
They went out from us,
but
they were not of us.
Right.
For if they had been of us, they would no doubt have continued with us.
Like, they got the number one song in the country called "Not Like Us." Everybody listen to Kendrick Lamar because he's talking about they not like us. Like, if this was talking about Crippin', everyone could understand it. If this is about GDs or Vice Lords, the whole entire world can understand the precept. But for some reason, fake Israelites in the Christian church can't understand this. They went out from us, Crips. I'm gonna read it to you like that. So when you say us, I'm gonna say it again. Read it again for the top.
They went out from us,
Crips.
but they were not of us.
Crippin'.
For if they had been of us,
Crips.
They would no doubt have continued with us.
Crippin'. You see what I'm saying? Like, you are blood now. They not the same. What do you mean we together? Nigga, you are the ops. How are you with us when you're not with us? If you're not with us, you're against us. Christ said it. How are we on the same team, not on the same team? It doesn't even make sense. But people can understand the loyalty of a gang member. You can understand the loyalty of a drug dealer or a mafia member, but you can't understand loyalty when it comes to the Lord and his house. It's bull, man. They do understand. They just don't care. And so for you to say that you are in the one body, only one option can be true. So these cats say they came into the truth in the 1990s. or the 2000 or whatever, they came in back in the 90s. Then they left the school, started another school, then left that school, started another school, and then left that school and started another school. For all those years you've been in the truth. You can't have both. Either when you was in the school in the 90s, you weren't in the truth, and then you left and you found the truth. But don't count those years that you were here of you being in the truth, because you left. So if you left, either this was the truth and you left and now you're not in the truth, or you weren't in the truth then and now you are in the truth. But you can't be both. So these cats, they keep doing it, man. They try to say they're still of Christ, but they keep leaving and doing their own thing. So something is changing everywhere. He didn't come to divide us. That's one of the coldest things I ever learned when I came into the truth, man. One of the brothers always said, I said all the time, all the brothers that watch me coming up, I always said, though, Christ, I learned this from Officer Wanyala. He was like, Christians, they always say, Christ died for me. Christ died for me. He said, Christ didn't die for you. Christ died for Israel, a nation of people. He wanted to unite his people. He didn't die for just you individually over here, and you individually over here, and you have a little militia of fake Israelites over here, a little militia of them. He wanted us to be one body together. So how are you representing Christ and you can't even come together in the Bible? That's crazy. And let me go to I love these precepts. Let me go to Nehemiah in the 10th chapter. Hold on. Well, let me finish this verse too before we go. Slakia. But they went out. I think we're at that point.
They went out that they might be made manifest, that they were not all of us.
Crippin'. You know what I'm saying? Like they were not really us. They was never with us. They were never on this side. They were not really solidified or reputables from our hood, our whatever you want to call it. It's the same concept. If you went up and you start snitching, you was never a real one. You know what I mean? It's the same. It's just loyalty that they're talking about here. So let's go to Nehemiah. I don't know if you came across this one or heard this one in your times learning, but Nehemiah, the 10th chapter. Real quick. So in their Christian mind, we always say, I think Captain Katazar always say that, man. Bless your Christian heart. You know what I'm saying? These fake Israelites want a fellowship. They always talking about fellowshipping and kicking it together, like that is real brotherhood. And they leave and they all hate each other, man. Nah, that's not one body. That's not fellowshipping. Whatever the hell you want to call it. Go ahead. Yep. Nehemiah 10:1. This precept right here is to basically show that it's always been one body in the middle. The Lord always moved as one. And a lot of the times when we read these different books in the Old Testament, where you see Nehemiah, you see Daniel, you see different men, you think that they were in different time periods and all of that, but they were really in one school together in one body. And now all of a sudden we get to 2024 and Christ died for us to make our own little ABC games. I'm AOZ, I'm DDG, I'm QRI. You just making up more gangs out. That's not what Christ died for. He died to bring us together, not separate us. All right, read verse 1.
Nehemiah 10:1.
Mm-hmm.
Now those that sealed were Nehemiah.
Right.
The church Shotha.
Right. And then, all these names going to get a little bit hectic. But we do the best we can. But Nehemiah was a prophet. That's who we read in the book of Nehemiah. But let's see who these names that were rolling with him.
The son of Akiah and Zedekiah.
Mm-hmm.
Sariah.
Mm-hmm.
Jeremiah.
Right. So these are some big names we start seeing coming through. Jeremiah was rolling with Nehemiah. They were called the sons of the prophets. They weren't literally the sons of the prophets. They were the ones that kept and followed the ways of the prophets. So it talks about who was the brother that called down Elijah when he had called down the fire from heaven and burned down, and then he rose up into the clouds, right? Elisha seen him ascend into the clouds. Long story short, at that time, I believe it was Jezebel was trying to destroy them and kill them. And I think Elisha went and hid 50 of the sons of the prophets in one cave and 50 in another cave because they were trying to be killed. So these were just men that were in the school and followed the ways of the prophets. They were called the sons of the prophets. But these brothers were all rolling in this school together. So you see Nehemiah, you see Jeremiah. We're just gonna go down to the big names that we know that all got books. Drop down to verse 5.
Nehemiah 10 and 5. Harim, Merimah,
Obadiah. So we got Nehemiah, Jeremiah, Obadiah. Keep going. Daniel rolling. All these brothers was in communication and rolling together. Let me see. We got a couple more that we may know. Drop down to verse 11.
Verse 11.
Micah. You know what I'm saying? Wow. All these men that got books in the Bible, they was alive at the same time. They was rolling together at the same time. They was a part of the same school. And what this is doing is going in rank and order too. So Nehemiah was the head of these men, and these you going down the lines. And then you drop down to verse 23 too.
Verse 23. Hosea.
You know what I mean?
Hananiah.
Oh yeah. Right. And so yeah, Hosea, Nehemiah, Jeremiah, Obadiah, Daniel, Micah, legendary men. They was in one body together. They didn't have Jeremiah over here and he in disagreement with Nehemiah. You know, I'm about to go and do my own thing. Nah, they was rolling together. These brothers believed the same thing and fought for the same thing, died for the same thing, and had the Spirit of the Lord upon them. There's no reason that nowadays that we should be here and have all this division, man. And that's what we know something's wrong, because they're not allowed to teach real unity. They have unity camps, but they don't have real unity. Why would you come together to have a camp? Why don't you have a goddamn conference on how to come together and just be together? That's effeminate. That is very emasculating. Like, if once again you put it into the gangs, like, that's kind of like when the Crips and Bloods tied the rags together. Like, from the outside, the spirit looks good. It's just like the Christian church. It's just like these camps coming together, having unity. It looks good. The optics of it look good. It's like, wow, look at the black men, the Crips, and the Bloods came together. But you tied your blue rag next to my red rag. Why don't we just be one rag? If we coming together, why are we coming together? Because we black. Then drop the blue and the red. Nigga, we family. It's no more. You can't continue to be a Crip and I continue to be a Blood and there be a truce. No, we got to end the whole concept and become one family. But once you continue doing that, 5 months later, it's going to start up again. That's a feminine behavior. It's not masculine to fake unity. You know what I mean? And then we get destroyed more and more because of that. So that's what they're doing. Let's go to some more precepts, though. Let's go to Ephesians 4:4. This is another one. It's a big one. And we'll close it out at 9:15, man. Lord allow. We get a little bit more next week. We'll probably pick up on this one. We'll just go into it further.
Ephesians 4:4.
Right.
There is one body.
There's what?
One body.
There's two bodies.
One body.
There's more than one way to get to Christ.
One body.
I know you believe what you believe, but nobody got the whole truth. That's another thing. He say, ain't nobody got the whole truth. What does that mean? Huh? So did Paul not have the whole truth? Well, I don't follow a man. I only follow Christ. So why are you reading all of these books? Paul wrote this. And then you know what happened? They even got to the point that the fake Israelites, Sakari and them was saying they don't follow Paul. Have you heard that? Just whispers of it. It's something new. I ain't really looked into it a little bit, but something, yeah, they calling it. They saying he's not valid to even listen to. A man that made it possible for you even have this Bible in your hands, they gonna disrespect. His rank is way above your fake Israelite groups. What he done to pushing the truth of God, and they gonna say that Paul don't know what he's talking about, and they shouldn't follow Paul, man, when he built up the entire beginnings of what we know today. Christ put men in charge to lead men. He didn't say just put my spirit in your heart and you read this and then you'll be able to. No, you need to follow somebody that I put the spirit upon and that you should be underneath, man. That's how it was, man. So there is one body. Keep going.
One body.
Right.
And one spirit.
Right.
Even as ye are called in one hope of your call.
Right. Keep going.
One Lord.
Right.
One faith.
Right.
One baptism.
You know what I mean? It's always been one. That's why it's so important. The Christians can't understand it because of the power of having one. Like the fake religions around the world, they are polytheists. They have multiple gods. What separated us from everyone else was having one God. Then we said, okay, we got one God. He got one son. This is who he's dealing with. Can't have two, you got to have one. So it went from one God to one son who's ruling over one nation of people. It hurts their feelings when you're dealing with one. It's like, well, why ain't the favorite son? You know what I'm saying? Why it can only be one God? What you mean? There's a lot of God. You got a God. I got a God. Look, this is my God. That's your God. That sounds right. It don't sound logical for it to be one God. It hurts their feelings. You had to boil it down to one God. It hurts their feelings. We say it's one king that's here to rule. It hurts their feelings. We say it's one nation of people that should be in charge underneath that king over everybody else. You see what I mean? But it's always been one. It's one body, one spirit, one Lord, one baptism. Verse 6.
Verse 6.
Mm-hmm.
One most high
mm-hmm.
and Father
mm-hmm.
of all, who is above all and through all and in you all.
Yeah. So if you got the spirit of the Lord that is one, and you know his people are one people, you should not go through his people, dividing his people. You should be trying to get them to understand that one way. And like I said, your oppressor will make something that's bad for you sound good and something that's good for you sound bad. If you hear you can be whatever you want, oh, I'm spiritual, I don't follow no religion, I just talk to the higher power myself, then you are destroying your people by not having one God. The reason why our people are so destroyed because we have so many different ways to live. There's no rules in our community because everyone believes something different. But we literally have the most powerful culture because of this one God. Even amongst these heathens, look at America. Why is America falling? Because they have two different ideologies running the country, and they're completely opposite from each other. And so this one says it's okay to be LGBT, and this one says it's not. This one says you should get as many abortions as you want, and this one says you can't. This one says a man can become a woman, and this one says you can't. Now they going so far apart that they clashing and going to war with each other. No man can serve two masters. A house divided cannot stand. That's in the Bible. That's Christ said. There can only be one. You gotta be united. If they don't have one accord, then eventually it's gonna always tear apart. So if our people always have these different religions, you can't go home and be Muslim and you go over here and then you expect us to take over the world. Nah, this having one God is what unites us, and that's why it's so important. That's why you got anything you want to say? No, these are comments. Go ahead.
No,
So, okay, so that one. Let's drop that. This will be the last precept we bring out. Let's go to we get 1 Corinthians 6 and 17.
you said First Corinthians.
6 and 17. Shalom, Shamar Latham Bashim Yashai, Sister Mana Aima. All right, checking in from Nashville. Shalom, Yabashim Yashai Bagatham, Bagathah, also Yeragabar. And then 6 and 17.
1 Corinthians 6 and 17. But he that is joined unto the Lord is one spirit.
Right. That's that plain and simple, man. You join unto the Lord, you one spirit. It's only one truth. Literally, by the definition of the truth, it's only one of those. Damn, that's heavy. So lock it. Sometimes saying the most simple thing. What is the definition of truth? Look that up myself, and then we'll close out, man. Truth. Even white people, they try to dance around it, man. What is the definition of truth? The quality or state of being true, that is which is true or in accordance with fact or reality. Tell me the truth, the fact of the matter, certainty, certain to law. Damn. Even Esau know the truth is the law, principle, honesty, candor, sincerity, truth is all of those things. Like you can't have, a fact, right? The truth is that which is true or in accordance with fact or reality. Like you can't have the reality, two realities. You know what I mean? It is what it is. Like if you were to say, they always say that story, like it's your story, their story, then there's the truth. This is what really happened. You can have your opinion about this and about that. Like the scientists could come in and say, this is so many molecules, atoms, and blah, 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 blah. And the Lord could come and say, actually, it's this. That's the truth. It's not what Einstein said, because they always change it. You know what I mean? They used to be like, it was a number amount of photons and electrons. Then 10 years later, like, actually, that don't even exist. This is the fourth dimension and blah, 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 multi-universe. Every year they keep growing. And so how is it true then if it ain't true now? They was telling us which Pluto was a planet. Now they say it's not. But back then they would say that was the truth. It was a fact that Pluto is a planet. But now it's not, because they never knew. They're discovering and trying to understand what's true. But the Lord has the real answer. He's either going to say yay or nay, or it's not even what you think it is. It's not a planet or it's not a planet. I mean, it is, it ain't, I don't know what I'm saying. It's not is a planet, and it ain't a planet. You know what I mean? It's a whole nother thing you never heard of is what it really is. But that's the truth of what it is. It's not what you think about it. It's what it actually is. And you can say, some people will say it's okay for a man to marry another man. And some people say that you can't. The truth is you can't. We know it here. You see what I mean? There is no opinion on the truth. The truth of the matter is you can't do it. It's wrong. That don't change. Truth of the matter is, why submit to your husband? Truth of the matter is, don't do this, don't do that. Shouldn't eat pork, shouldn't eat that. That's the truth. So There ain't two truths. That's America. Oh, you believe whatever you want to believe in America. We all free. You believe it's wrong? He don't. Y'all can live together. Don't work that way. You can't live in a country where some people saying abortion is wrong, some people saying it's right, and y'all live together. The truth is abortion is wrong in the discussion. You know what I mean? So that's when these fake Israelites, they're trying to say is more than one truth, is a lie. Just to say that alone is a lie, because truth is only one answer based on its definition. So read that verse one more time, and then we'll leave for sure.
1 Corinthians 6:17.
Right.
But he that is joined unto the Lord
Right.
is one spirit.
Right. He that is joined unto the Lord is one spirit. What does the Bible also say? A double-minded man is foolish in all his ways. If you going this way and you going that way, you don't know which way you're going. How can you be wise? You double-minded. You see what I'm saying? How can you be one spirit? How can you have multiple spirits and say you're of the Lord? Your spirit is the spirit of purple. Your spirit is the spirit of niggas wearing fringes on their shirts. You got a spirit of, well, we don't wear fringes on our shirts. We wear the tzitzis, what the Jewish people wear. Your spirit is you can marry a 9-year-old girl, 12-year-old girl. Your spirit is over here that you can smoke weed and be an Israelite. All y'all spirits is all different kind of spirits, but the Lord only has one spirit. And if you ain't tapped in with it and you convince yourself that no one is tapped in with it, that's literally what they're telling us, that no one knows the truth. We all got pieces of the truth. Then they're just living life. They're Christians, and now I'm done. I feel like Jeremiah, you like, I'm getting tired of having to talk about this, explaining what the hell they're doing. It's bothering me and myself that we had to teach about this. It shouldn't even be a topic. Like Captain Zara always say that there was never a Gentiles breakdown. What's the Gentiles? There was never one back in Paul's time, in Peter's time. They knew what they were talking about. We have to break it down and explain it to people because Esau has brainwashed you to believe in a lie. But we shouldn't have to even break down one body precepts because whoever thought you would try to make it more, you know what I mean? It's ridiculous. It's like it. That's it. So, you know, if you want to do that, we would respect. We always say that. We would at least respect your fake Israelite group if you said we are the home of the truth. At least you standing on something, and you could at least lead men with some type of confidence, and at least y'all can stay together forever. That's why Captain Zara is like, man, I don't even want to go deal with this other fake Israelite group that just left a fake Israelite group and give them some clout for being extra fake. Like, we're going to blow them up for being even faker? Nah, man, this stuff got to stop. Like, I would respect your group if you said, you know what, we just left them, but now we really found the truth and don't go to nobody else but us. Because you at least would not be raising up people that's going to leave you. That's all they're doing. When they justify them leaving someone else, they're raising up men that's going to leave them too. So you're further scattering the flock, man. It's really evil what they're doing, man. And it needs to stop. I'd rather them at least be, confident enough to say, yeah, Aisha became the truth. We are. Follow us. Follow me. You know what I mean? But they really have these weak ass statements that, you can watch all of us. There's really no difference from what we're doing, what they're doing. If there's really no difference from what we're doing, what they're doing, why are you niggas not in the same building together? You imagine all the fake Israelite groups, even Nasty Nate, but I wouldn't say them because they really, really, really far from the spirit. But just imagine how many people in the country right now are saying the Israelites that came from One West. How evil it is that our Passover, we should be looking like we getting out the kingdom already, man, with this group, that group, this group, that group, this group, that group, all the UPK. That's how powerful the teaching that came out of One West. It was so powerful. They didn't took a little bit, you know, like how they say, oh, this dope so strong, I can cut it 3-4 times. I can turn one key into 4 keys because it's pure. The UPK, the truth was so strong, it had branched off and grown so many camps when they was all supposed to be one. They running off the fumes of what One West started and raising up hundreds of men, thousands of men off the fumes. Don't even got the full breakdowns, and they done ran off and started to lead all these men. That was supposed to be that one body. Is, you know what I mean? It'd be one thing if they had a bunch of fake Israelite groups and they were like, okay, I learned from the guys in Dimona. You know about them? They left from Chicago and went and started a community in Israel. Some black dudes named Ben Ami. Ben Ami, yeah. Like, what if it was a group over here? They're like, yeah, we're DOC. We came from Ben Ami. And there's another fake Israelite group. Oh, we are HLR. We came from some fake Israelite in Brazil that we learned about. All of these niggas tell you they came from One West. It wasn't strong enough, whatever they teaching Ben Ami, to make a following like this has. But they don't want it to be united because the spirit of the Lord is not upon them, man. That's the spirit of Satan. It's anti-brotherhood, man. And they don't see the bigger enough picture that whatever it is, issue that you got with this brother is not big enough than the whole nation to stay together. They're using those excuses to keep leaving each other and being disloyal, and they justify it in their mind like it's a right thing to do when it's a wicked thing to do. But that's it for me, Salaki. I think we're over. All right. So with that, we'll pass the class over to the young man. I'm going to show you how to do it if you don't know it, how to salute the teacher. Say, men of Israel, Majum.
Men of Israel and Majum.
Majum Shabbat.
Majum Shabbat.
Then you go back to a Majum.
Majum.
Call back to Majum. Then you say Barak.
Barak.
Then you salute.
Yahweh Shem Yahushua Barakatah.
Yahweh Shem Yahushua Barakatah. Yad Yom Matah. Yad Yom.
Yad Yom Matah. Yad Yom.
Yad Yom Matah. Dismiss after that, just one time. So
dismiss.
All right, Most High Christ, the water.